What is up, my fellow Not Enough Knifers? I promised I would come back with the continuation of this Christmas Came Late story. Today we're going to be doing the actual folding 2022 knives for Ozark Trail, and these are not the only ones that I saw on the shelf. However, these two are the only ones that are new designs from scratch. New coat of paint or redesigns or whatever. These are some radical new designs from grassroots I've never seen on Ozark Trail knives before. If you guys have seen something like this, you let me know. But without further ado, let's get into this. All right, so first up we have what seems to be an anodized blue aluminum handle with three lengthwise slots along the handle. It's the same on both sides. One side has the clip, which is only tip down carry, and it's also more like a satin. Not much of a matte. It's more like towards a shinier sheen of satin, matte black. It is a liner lock. No spring assist, same kind of finish of that satiny black anodized finish on the blade. Thumb stud, and it's got a flipper. So whichever way you're feeling like you want to open your knife, it's up to you. Pretty sharp out of the box. It's a liner lock, pretty thin liner. Doesn't seem to be something that would be affected by a daily carry. Seems light enough to be comfortable. I'm a big fan of this kind of like new part of the liner kind of lanyard holes. It's actually pretty cool. The T3s that are around it are pretty strategically located right around it here for some good symmetrical structural rigidity. Their T3, which is inside the liner here, like most Ozark Trail knives, and then you have the actual bearing. Now, I'm not sure what design the bearing is or what material it is, but I'll tell you that Ozark Trail has been stepping up its quality control. The centering on this blade is like something you would expect out of a Kershaw. I mean, just take a look at that, for example. Something about this kind of blue and black that is just a gorgeous contrast. They make a great team together, these two colors. I think last time I weighed it, it was about 3.4 ounces, but let's see if that's true. This new surface I have is a lot more scale friendly. And there we go, 3.4 ounces in all its glory. Drop point blade, jimping towards the bottom, right next to where the thumb stud is. On the box on this one, it says 2021 right here. Model number is 6809 for the blue one. The next knife that we have is pretty awesome. It's in its own league. Just look how pretty this is when it's closed. I don't know how functional this grip is once the knife is deployed, and I'll get to that in a moment. This seems to be thumb stud only knife. It seems to be something of either a collector's item or something that you would like aesthetically. The reason I say that is because the liner is the only thing that is going to surround the front of your fingers. I wouldn't call that safe. And you don't even have to be doing anything heavy duty. You could be doing some light prying, you could be trying to open a computer case or just something that's not even that intense. And any small slippage here can send this knife barreling into your grip fingers. And that is a recipe for disaster. Something you don't want, right? Looks like a steel liner on this side. It's a frame lock, obviously, because the liner is the half of the frame here. I don't even know if it's something that they do for like the design. The knife is gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous to look at, but it has its flaws functionally and structurally. I'm not going to take that away just because the knife is pretty. I'm going to bring it to you like it is. Keeping it real over here. We got three T3s holding this piece of real G10, which I give Ozark Trail credit for doing something different. Instead of just a candy coated or paint coated piece of thermoplastic, they're actually giving you a real nice little slab here, real G10 here, in this pretty green color that matches bearing cover over here. Big old lanyard hole here. Looks versus weight saving, these holes here along the lock slab right here. You have a non-reversible, non-ambidextrous tip down only clip right here, and your thumb stud. Thick, wide drop point blade. Has a nice sweeping spine on it. Jimping, which is a little bit bigger than the other one. Like I said, the only thing that worries me is if I'm doing some kind of precision task, the entire posterior grip of my fingers here is on the locking mechanism because there's no part of the frame surrounding it. It's actually pretty abysmal because normally knives like this that only has the locking frame part here, it's at least a liner. And then there would be obviously the frame that covers that piece, and then this would be a liner part. So at least when your fingers are gripping the knife, they're wrapped around an actual structural part of the knife where they won't accidentally trigger closing prematurely. But that's not the case with this one. So I'm not sure if this was kind of like one of those quick, let's just make something cool that will sell fast and not thinking about the dangerous implications about it. But that's the only gripe that I seem to have with it, other than, the grip literally being a little uncomfortable because this thin piece of metal is the only thing that the front of your hand is actually grabbing onto. So working with it all day, I can imagine after a while that piece of metal will kind of like crease into your fingers and kind of be uncomfortable after a while if you're working all day with just this. But then again, you don't buy a knife like this to have it as your primary. This is just one of those, look, it's a pretty knife in my collection kind of knife. At least that's my opinion on it. But there you have it. These are the new folders. Let me know what you guys find at your local Walmart and share it in the comments. Stay tuned for the next video. I love y'all. Take care and peace.